All right. Hello again, new students. It is wonderful to be able to connect back with you. I hope that you had a great time this morning and that you were able to meet some new Falcons. As I said, my goal for you is to meet 5 new Falcons every single day. With that being said, I want to introduce you to one of my favorite Falcons, Miss Catherine Keys, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about the residential center, the upcoming move-in process, and really make sure that you have an opportunity to answer any questions that you might have before we get to next week. So Kat, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, BL. And again, I just want to say welcome everyone to Bentley and congrats. We are really looking forward to welcome you onto campus next week. So again, as BL said, my name is Catherine Keys. I am the director of the residential center here at Bentley. I will be starting my 10th academic year, and everyone calls me Kat. I don't know, Antonio has been having some technical difficulties. I don't know if he can hear me. He's there.
What about now? Can you all hear me? Can
Hey,
you see?
Antonio, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone, that my computer has been losing its mind. It wouldn't let anyone see me, so I'm glad to be here. Hi, I'm Antonio Willis-Berry. I'm the Associate Director of Housing and Residential Services here at Bentley. I've been here for starting my 7th year, which feels like a really long time, but it's been a good ride along the way through technical difficulties and all. But I'm glad to be here chatting with you all today.
So as BL said, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the move-in process. We realize this is likely exciting, but also scary, especially kind of in this COVID world. As you can see, we have the world in their masks, which we will all be in our face masks to see you on move-in day. Hopefully we'll answer your questions along the way. And then of course, if we miss anything, we'll check the chat and the Q&A at the end. And so we're going to kind of start us off.
So we just wanted to start by saying congratulations. You've made it. You're almost here. You'll be here in a few days living on campus, which we're really excited about. And we wanted to say welcome to this new world of COVID that we're living in. You know, I have my mask right here. I have had it with me everywhere I've gone around campus. And so it is a new normal for you all, just as much as it's going to be a new normal for us too. You know, we've been talking about messing things up and making it right along the way. And that's what this semester is going to be for us, right? The university or in the country, things might get better here, right? And we might not need to mask anymore. But for right now, we will have to wear that. And so that's a part of our new normal as well. So we just wanted to say congratulations to you all, how excited we are to have you all here. And we can't wait to see you all, like I said, in a few days.
So we're hoping that you decided to live at Bentley because not only are you looking to discover more about yourself, hopefully while you're living in the residence halls, maybe you get connected with RHA, which is our Residence Hall Association, and you can practice your leadership skills. And then obviously, like BL said, right, you guys are trying to meet 5 new Falcons a day. And we also hope when you're living in the residence halls that you're able to make friends. So some of you will be living by yourself this upcoming year due to kind of our de-densifying efforts, but there are many other Falcons in the halls with you. So you'll be able to be outside with them on the green space, in the 921, in the residence halls, in classes, virtually or in person. I think it's a cool time to make connections. And really for us in the residential center, our kind of 3 main goals, if you will, are self, connection, and community. So we hope that when you enter here, you live in the buildings with us, that you start to kind of learn more about yourself. Maybe you have different values than the ones you came in with. Maybe you're learning to meet new people that are different than you. So you're making these connections with people, maybe people from around the world, maybe someone who's in the state you live in, but you've had a completely different experience, making friendships, whether you're joining clubs and orgs, maybe you're doing sports. And then of course the community piece. So especially this year, I think community is going to be even more important since we all need to be responsible together. So we need to hold each other accountable as it relates to wearing our face masks, keeping social distance, but also the community can really come together to support one another. So I hope that you think about these 3 areas specifically when you're moving into the halls and living with us over this next trimester.
So in your hall will be this group of students that we like to call our RAs. They stand for resident assistants. They're going to be really responsible. They're student staff members. So they are mostly sophomores, juniors, and seniors who were here the previous year, who has a little bit of experience about what it means to live on campus at Bentley. And so what they'll be doing is interacting with each of you. You know, when you come in as first year students, I promise every parent, I promise every student that someone will get to know you. And that'll be your RA. They will stop by and say hello. We expect them to do resident interactions and to really get to know you all and interact with you. We're not expecting you all to become best friends, even though that's sometimes occurs with their RAs, but that's not the expectation. They're there to really do community building, to help you with roommate agreements and disagreements. They're there to hold floor meetings and do social programming and check-ins with you all. And that most important piece for me is the safety and well-being, right? That they are providing and making sure that you are safe and that your well-being is okay. So they're checking in with you for those reasons as well. They're doing duty rotations. They're doing policy enforcement. They're doing well-being checks just to make sure that you are actually well, because that's important to us. And then sometimes there are things that they can't handle and they refer those things out to, or they'll give you some great people that you could also connect with too. So use your RAs as resources for you once you get to campus.
And I would add too, in terms of what Antonio said, that RAs at night sit in duty offices. So there's actual physical offices they're in, and they have a cell phone that you can call if you ever need anything. And I know there's another slide that will specify that. So they are there for a resource, whether it's during business hours, and we're here all the time. And the RAs will be doing resident interactions, which is something where they need to meet with each resident at least once a month to kind of connect, communicate, and make sure that the interactions are going well for you. And if they're not, lead you to the right people.
Exactly.
I think this one's you too, Antonio. Me?
I can take it, definitely.
Go for it.
And the people in charge of our, or who supervise our RAs are called our resident directors. So their business hours are 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. They are master level professionals who went to school for a year or two to get some additional training to be able to be a resident director here at Bentley. So they know exactly what they're talking about and are really awesome and great, and a great group of people for you all to get to know. So they'll be the professional staff members living in the buildings with you. Their offices are located in the building, so they will send you an email that says, come to our office or come by and say hello to me. In the COVID world, they might not say stop. They might send you a Zoom link and say it to me that way instead. But they want to get to know you all, whether both virtually and in person. If we get to that in the spring, or maybe later on in the fall, but definitely the springtime. They, like I said, oversee the staff. They're going to be doing some social and educational programming for you all as well, to get you out of your rooms and to get you interacting with other people on our campus, but also in your building or your hall or your floor. If there are conflicts, which, I expect there to be some type of conflict between you and another student, they'll help you mediate that and talk through how to effectively have conversation with other people. They're responding to facilities concerns, and they serve as our largest group of student conduct officers on campus. So they are there, they're present 24/7 most of the time, which we'll talk about a little bit later on what that means for you all as additional resources. So use them as well.
So that was a perfect segue, Antonio. So the RAs, as he said, and as I said earlier, are on a duty rotation. So there are 8 different staffs, if you will, that the resident directors oversee. And the RAs are available during business hours, of course, but also after hours. And they do hold a cell phone. And that number is posted on every entry and exit of the residence hall's door. So we recommend that when you get to campus, you put that number in your phone. So if you live in Trees, you see what that duty number is and you save it, and you can call it if you ever need help for a friend, if you yourself need help. And then, of course, they have that office that they're in. RAs do active rounds where they walk through the buildings just to make sure everything's going well, to say hi, to greet people, some community building aspect. And then the RAs always have, as Antonio said earlier, the RDs, which we call our administrator on duty. So our department, along with University Police, is one of the only 2 departments that is here 24/7, 365 days a year. So we're always here working together with University Police to provide a quick response to any issues or concerns or help. So whether it's, maybe someone needs to go to the hospital because they were playing soccer and they injured their ankle, or maybe someone else isn't feeling well. So there's the good, the bad, and the in-between. So we just want you to know that we are always here. So when you move in, look at your residence hall assignment when you walk in terms of that door, save that duty number in your phone. And we also really do recommend you save University Police's number in your phone as well, because if ever you need anything on campus, you call our Bentley University Police, and they will be here to assist you too. Let's see, me again, you?
Yes, ma'am. That's you.
All right. So we want to talk a little bit about kind of safety measures on campus in this new COVID world. Things are going to look different for us. You know, I've done, I think 17 openings in my career so far. I have never done an opening like this, which I'm kind of excited about in terms of problem solving and welcoming people and having this new experience. So we want you to know that while we're really excited for you to come, we're also taking these measures pretty seriously in terms of safety. So we want to talk to you about a few things. The first thing is, particularly around guests, we're going to really limit guests this first week, meaning you can't have other people in your room, other people from other residence halls can't come in, only temporarily, because what we're looking to do is make sure everyone goes through our screening and testing program so we can get an accurate depiction to make sure you know, everyone is negative, and if not, we'll help those students to isolate them and move them safely into a space to get better. So we want some time to make sure we understand our kind of community campus in terms of people that are living in the halls. But of course, people can still hang out outside, socially distant, of course. They will have access to pick up food, and there's plenty of space on campus, which is really nice about our campus. There's a lot of land around here. Students will also be screened and tested. So we call screening is technically the COVID test. I personally went through it last week, as did Antonio. It was actually fairly quick and painless. So it's not the really long one that everyone is scared about that you have to stick all the way up. It's actually like the size of a Q-tip. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on the next screen, but it was under 4 minutes to kind of go through that whole process for all of the resident assistants went through it. Some of the orientation staff that are already on campus also went through it. So that will be a requirement weekly, and there will be an email coming out shortly about how to sign up for that. But that's a really important measure for keeping our campus safe, is knowing, you know, who's healthy and knowing who needs to have some separation from the campus community for a short period in order to get better. We're working really hard with facilities for disinfecting. So they'll be cleaning the bathrooms, the common bathrooms, minimally twice a day, and they're also going to be disinfecting those bathrooms. So you'll notice this sprayer. I wanted to add this to the slide because I don't want people to see facility staff members walking around. I mean, it looks a little alarming when you look at it. It kind of looks like a water gun. So what it does is actually kind of this electric blast sprayer that disinfects and kills any germs, and it's almost like a fog machine when it comes out. So they will use that in the restrooms, in the study areas, on doorknobs, on all the high touch surfaces, which is another great measure we're going to be using. In addition, facilities has installed hand dispensers in terms of all the entry and exit points. So if you want some hand sanitizer as you walk out, you can use that to disinfect when you swiped in to get in and out of your building. So we think these pieces are really important too.
So this is my favorite part, because we put a lot of work into sort of getting Move-In Day off the ground. So Move-In Day for new students is going to be this Wednesday, August 26th, and this upcoming Wednesday, August 26th, Thursday. Time has really flown by, people. I don't know where the weeks have gone. It's already August, and basically already September at this point. So the move-in process will take about 60 minutes, and I know people asked this in the chat. Or in the Q&A function, but it will take about 60 minutes. So you'll get tested upon your arrival to campus, and that'll take about 15 to 20 minutes. And then you'll get another 30 minutes to unload all of your items once you get to your residence hall. So students were assigned a specific and particular designated move-in time and screening time. So please adhere to that time frame for you to arrive to campus and your testing time. Because we want to make sure that everything flows smoothly, which we'll talk about in a moment, what the actual flow looks like for you all. We want you to practice safe social distancing. So ensure that you're 6 feet apart from people. That's going to be important, and that you're wearing your mask at all and your face coverings at all times. That is a requirement to be on our campus, is that you have your face mask on. And then last but not least, students will be allowed 2 guests for move-in. I know someone asked, will parents be allowed into the building? Yes, you can bring your parents into the building, but 1 parent at a time is what we're asking. So if someone can stay outside by the car and someone can go inside, perfect, and then they can just switch and flip-flop. That would be awesome. So the next slide I wanted to show you is exactly what move-in will look like. So I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but there's a green star there. Thank you. A green star there that says, please enter.
White.
Yeah, I appreciate that, boss lady. So you'll enter at 175 Forest Street. You'll get more information about this, and it'll be on our website later on. But 175 Forest Street, so put that in your GPS, write it down now, that's where Bentley's located, you'll enter there. You'll check in with staff at the entry who will confirm that you are who you say you are, and we'll give you two signs or a car sheet to signify who you are and that you've checked in with us at that point. You'll continue to the Miller deck, which is this yellow box here, thank you, and where you'll be screened. You'll get your screening done on the lower level of that, but you'll park up top, and there'll be staff directing you the entire way, so you won't be able to get lost. Only the student can walk down to the lower level testing area, and please, please, please make sure you bring a photo ID with your name and your face on it, because that's what we'll need to confirm that you are who you say you are. After your test, you'll get a bracelet as you walk towards the exit. You'll have one more checkpoint right there for a staff member to say, yep, you're all set, you're good to go, back up to your car. And then you'll walk back up to the upper level of the Miller deck to return to your vehicle and then head towards your residence hall to check in or unload. And so that's how the process will work. And then you'll exit out of campus. So it will be one-way traffic all the way around. So as soon as you come to campus, you actually won't be let in from the Beaver Street entrance. So you could try, they won't let you in. They'll send you to the Forest Street entrance of campus, and then we will sort of direct you along the way so you don't get lost.
We realize it's a quick process, but really what we're trying to do is make room for other cars to unload. And I know we've been getting a lot of questions on the car piece. So we want you all to pack lightly, in the event that we need to shut down, which our hope is not that does not happen. But we know that some parents might come, some students might come with a car if they've requested that. So if a car is coming and it's two cars, what we'll do is we'll pull one car out of line and they'll have to park in an upper lot because we only want the one car full of items going through kind of our process.
Yep.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the testing or screening site because we know for students we've been getting a lot of questions in housing. So really the screening location is for healthy students. So you should think about it that way. It's a weekly screen and people should only be entering if they are feeling healthy. You need to wear a face covering. And again, we will have staff in a presence of RAs and orientation leaders all over campus those 2 days. So you won't be able to get lost because there will be so many staff out and about helping to direct you. Of course, you need to maintain your 6 feet of distance. And there's essentially stanchions underneath the Miller deck. And it kind of looks like a mini Disney World. So, I have to walk through the ropes to get to the line. So they have that all mapped out for us. And again, as Antonio said, you need that photo ID. So when you check in, so pretend these are the stanchions, you're walking through the line, there'll be check-in tables right here, and that's where you have your ID, and the person will confirm who you are. They'll give you a little jar, if you will, that has the Q-tip-like looking thing in it, and then they'll have you go to the second table behind, and that's where you actually sit down, and you essentially do 3 swirls in each nostril, and then you put the specimen back in the tube, and then you leave the tube there, and they had ID essentially printed. It's a barcode, so every student has their own label, and they take care of all of that at the testing site, which is pretty cool. So you can't bring any food or beverage in. You shouldn't be taking photos or videos of people going through it. I think people will probably be a little bit nervous. And as Antonio said, in total, in terms of waiting up on the deck until you're allowed to go down to the below deck for testing, it's probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but the actual process of swiping your nose was very quick. It was, under 3 minutes. And then before you exit, as Antonio said, people will chat with you. They're going to get a bracelet or a wristband. So that's going to be a way we identify who's in our screening protocol to make sure that those people are allowed in the residence halls. You'll need that wristband. So we also want to talk a little bit about, we've been getting questions like, what should I bring? What do you mean by pack light? What can I bring? So this is up on the Bentley University website, but as you can see, these are some of the essential items. So we definitely think you should bring a couple face coverings with you. The Department of Public Health is recommending you wash those. Pro tip, I've learned that you can wash them, but if you dry them, they shrink if you have the cotton ones. So I would not recommend drying your face coverings in the dryer, maybe leave them out to dry in your room. Bring some cleaning supplies. If you have a thermometer, we think that's a good idea. Our beds are extra long twin, so those sheets, the bedding. Some students want to bring a mattress pad, which is totally cool. Bring your summer and fall clothes because we'll be here through November, so it'll start to get a little cool. Storage bins underneath the beds is totally appropriate. Mini fridges are permitted. Laundry bins if you're going to do laundry, school supplies, obviously, and then toiletries and some simple decorations. A lot of students like to put pictures or posters on the wall. And for transfers that might be in places with full kitchens, those items would be allowed too. And of course, you can bring electronics. So that's been kind of the common question. So we get that students were going to bring TVs, computers, video games. You just need to make sure that you can carry it all in because if if we had to close, you need to carry it all out too. So, no furniture, no futons, no couches, no chairs. All the furniture you need will be in your room. And I think the last piece we really want to recommend is students should kind of have a go bag. So we're calling it an isolation bag, which is essentially, if you need to be quarantined or if you need to be put into isolation because someone did have COVID, you essentially have a bag worth of 10 days of clothes. I know when I'm sick, I wear like 2 pairs of sweatpants the whole time. So it's not like you need to bring a whole bit of outfit change, but your books, maybe have an extra phone charger in there, some clothes, some medicine that you need, obviously the face coverings, and then something else to maybe keep you occupied, a couple books. We have Wi-Fi all over campus too, and you can watch things on your computer. So as long as you bring your computer with you too with the charger, you can kind of keep yourself occupied. All right.
So we wanted to talk briefly about our meal plan. And our dining hall is really getting an upgrade right now at this moment. I was there yesterday. The food has been awesome the last couple of days. So all first year students will be on the Block 304 meal plan, which includes 5 meal trades per week, 304 swipes into our dining hall, and then $350 in discretionary funds. In the 921, we've done some, like I said, major upgrades where all the eating and meals will be provided into go containers, and we've reduced the number of students who are able to sit down in that space too. However, we've created some spaces outside that students can go outside or take their food back to their residence hall if that's what you prefer to do and eat there. So those will be 2 additional options. So there'll be a self-swipe entrance along with contactless payment options if you need to pay. But my favorite part about it is I'm hoping that some of you have used Grubhub as an app, and if you haven't done that yet, I'd recommend downloading Grubhub before you arrive here at Bentley, because that'll also be a helpful app for you to use in the dining hall, where you'll be able to place orders on an app and go and pick it up from the dining hall, which is just a new feature that our dining facilities is rolling out because we're in this COVID-19 era in this world. But students will still be able to walk into the 921 and pick up a meal as well. If you are not someone who wants to order in advance and you just so happen to be walking by the dining hall like, I'm hungry, you can swipe right in and grab food, and you'll be able to eat that way too. So it's not a one or the other, it's another option for you, which is exactly what we're trying to do, which will be awesome. So like I said, 304 swipes in the dining hall for the fall semester, with $350 in discretionary. And I'd highly recommend you download the Grubhub app before getting here to Bentley, because it'll be a lifesaver for you.
I know some folks also asked in the chat about the Bentley ID. So I know you submitted your photo through My Photo. So as Antonio talked about, after you go through the screening process, you have your test done, you'll drive down to your residence hall location to move in. There you also have to check in one more time. So there's essentially 3 check-in locations on that day. At that residence hall location, we'll actually hand out your Bentley ID if you submitted the photo. We know for some students, sometimes the photos don't work appropriately when they print. We'll let you know that, and then you can go to the ID card access office and have your photo taken that day, and they'll give it to you. But our hope is that most students submitted their photos. I know BL and I reached out to the folks doing that, and they're printing them even as we speak. So you will get that at the residence hall check-in location. All right, so something else we want to kind of talk to you a little bit about is you'll see these pledges around campus and the residence halls when you move in. Falcons fight against COVID. We talked a little bit about self-connection community at the beginning of this presentation, and I think, Falcons need to fight for themselves in terms of their safety. I hope you all fight for each other and the community, because I think really we are the ones that will determine how this year goes in terms of whether or not we stay in the halls or not. I think it's kind of hard when you read all these stories about other institutions of people maybe not acting smart and having a lot of social gatherings. So if that happens here, that would probably decide our future. So you'll see some of these and talk about, completing daily self-screenings, utilizing hand sanitizer, washing your hands, wearing your face coverings, maintaining proper distance. So we hope that you read these, you think about them, and it will help us to have a really awesome, successful semester where you get to have fun, connect, go to class, and get your college experience as new students at Bentley University. I know that was the end of our presentation, but I think there was another question in there about laundry. Antonio, you want to talk a little bit about how laundry works?
Yeah, so laundry is going to cost about $1.75 for a wash and $1.75 $1.75 for dry. It does increase for wash up by about 10 cents, but it's also an app that you'll be able to download once you get to campus. That's what I recommend to everyone, to wait until you get to campus to download it, because they do give you a free wash and dry upon your arrival on campus. And so get to campus, download the laundry app in the laundry room, and there's signs up in the laundry room that will explain to students how to actually use the app. It is a traditional washer and dryer. You'd want to bring either pods or the soap detergent, that's what it's called. Detergent to use in those spaces, and then dryer sheets, right? And so you'll be able to sort of throw that right into the washing machine or the dryer, and run it just like you would run laundry at home. But the app is really cool. Another app for you to download for Bentley Laundry. So I recommend doing that when you get there, because it's a declining balance. So you'd add money to your account every time you do laundry. I think it does it in $10 increments, $10 to $15 increments. So you'll do laundry with it, and then it also will tell you when your laundry is done too, for you to be able to grab that as well. So just like at home when you do your laundry, the only difference at Bentley this year is we will be putting restrictions on how many people can be in the laundry room at one time. And so I think we should mention that part of it, that every lounge and function room or laundry room in our residential community will have a capacity on it, and there'll be signs up that'll show you exactly how many people can be in those spaces at a time. So we put little stickers outside for you to wait if the number of people in the laundry room is exceeding what our capacity is. And so just make sure you pay attention to those things, because we don't want 6 or 7 or 8 people in a laundry room, because that's just too many people based on what our guidelines are to keep you all healthy and safe.
I know there was 2 other questions I'll mention quickly, but I know we're coming up on time. So at the end of the semester at Thanksgiving, when you move out, the question was, do I have to take everything out of my room? No, at this point, unless we were to instruct you that you had to, students can leave their items in their residence hall room. Obviously, depending on the spring semester, we might be able to add more students back into housing. So we might need to do some changes in terms of assignments, and we'd communicate that with you beforehand, but you would not need to take everything home. I think there was one more question in there that now I'm forgetting. I'm going to look at real quick. If you can't make your assigned time, and can you show up late? So the answer to that is no. We're going to be really strict this year on the dates and times you were given. So if you have a conflict with that, please email, and I should have put this up on the screen, so I apologize. Please email housing@bentley.edu. You might have to stay at a hotel that night before. If you're coming too early, and then you can come to your assigned time, or if it's afterwards, please again email us and we'll see if we can work with you. But because the move-in is connected to the screening time, we don't have a lot of flexibility, as there's only certain hours screening occurs, and a courier actually comes to campus to pick up all the specimen at a certain time every day and bring it to the Broad Institute, which is who we're working with. So there's so many different pieces connected to it that we're not able to be as flexible this year as we typically do. So again, if we didn't answer your question, or if you have more after this, again, please email us at housing@bentley.edu, and we'll be sure to get back to you. But congratulations on your acceptance to Bentley, and we are very much looking forward to welcoming you to campus on Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Kat and Antonio. Really appreciated being able to spend some time with you all this morning as we connect with our new Falcons. Would definitely encourage people to also check out the Back to Bentley website, because we will keep continuing to update any of the information in the FAQs. Use your orientation leaders. They'll be reaching out to you next week to have one-on-one meetings. And once you get to campus, you're going to be able to meet your resident assistant and those RDs that Antonio was talking about. So you have plenty of support as you kickstart this semester. We're really looking forward to it, and make sure that you reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.